confused a little bit, because with this esteemed panel, you love the concierge. You have us on all your websites. You've got videos of us at the International, at Starwood. You have this whole program for us. I mean, you love us. So that's like at one end of the pendulum. And then at another end of the pendulum, there's other global companies that think that we're dispensable and that they're outsourcing us and that they're changing our name. And a lot of things are happening within the industry, and I would really like to know just your perspective, your thoughts, anything about this, because it almost doesn't make sense to us.
So, who wants to take a stab first?
I'm happy to.
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
I'm happy to wade into that dangerous territory. I think I understand the question. It's certainly a good question, and I know that many of you are impacted by those changes a number of companies have made. And I think if you look at the economic recession we just went through, that was really unprecedented. And there were many changes made in property, some that were wise, some that were not wise, in all brands. And I think we had to react, and we had to react dramatically. And I think now that we've had a chance to breathe and look at our structures, some companies are admitting they made mistakes, they're restructuring again. As the business comes back, they're altering their organizations. But I think it was rapid fire to try and take cost out of your operation. I'm also a believer that I came up through the ranks in hotels. I learned the way to be successful is stay close to your associates and stay close to your customers. And if you listen to both of them, you'll never go wrong. And I think as we dealt with our crises, hotel by hotel, we promoted, stay close to your associates and your customers. And we attempted to downsize through areas where the customers didn't notice, or we clustered back of the house operations or accounting, etc. And in some places we did make mistakes and went too far, and have since restored that. But I think as we come out of the recession, companies that have made that decision to take out frontline associates or critical associates that interact with the guests, I think are going to be subjected to shifts in market share, downward shifts, shifts in profitability and revenue. And for us who are always on the eye, looking on the horizon for acquisitions, we see that as opportunity. So that's my quick assessment.
I'm Dublin, Ireland. I'm a resident on there and a member of the committee to SAT. It's just been sparked by the comments from Argentina. Some of the tools that are used by our guests now are something like TripAdvisors, in particular. I'd like the response of the panel on how seriously do you take the comments on TripAdvisors? Because I, at my desk, often wonder, are they in my hotel when they do this? Are they in the same building? Have they actually come in the door? Because they're so diverse. They are, in the same space of time, there can be completely different opinions of what their stay was about. My issue with it is there's no right to reply. There's no way that you can comment on it to correct or otherwise. The second part is, in all the areas, food and beverage, banqueting, and in rooms division, the service or the profit or the success is quantified in financial terms. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you quantify the success of the concierge team in each of your property or globally?
All right, so just to, in case you didn't, when a comment is posted on the internet through TripAdvisor, and what's the perception of that? And how is TripAdvisor or those sources looked upon? The second part of the question is how do we understand the perceived value or assess the value of the concierge department within the hotel as it equates to either a profit center or an expense center? I think that's the easiest way I can describe it. Another fairly easy question. No.
Because usually it really pinpoints issues that we have, and as well it gives praises as well. So as Robert was saying, it's always important to send the praises to all users, but as well to tackle the issues. I never considered that it was, competitors doing bad things to us. And so it really is always very detailed. So I believe that if someone doesn't do their job, as a GM, it's my fault, it's my responsibility. If the doorman doesn't do his job, it's my fault. It's because we did not train him properly or we did not give the right standards. So what I would advise everyone, the chief concierge here, to maybe do the same as well. Consider that it's your responsibility as well to make sure that doorman, bellman, page boys, wherever they still have page boys, I wish we would still have that in America, we would have that in America, but that they really do their job properly as well, and that it is your responsibility to face these issues as well before even it goes up to the GM. Always take these things very, very seriously. As far as the added value, I mean, it's a great question because what is it? It's really, it's the perceived added value that you will prove to your colleagues as well. I mean, I like what Andrea was saying, that you must do your own networking within the hotel as well, so that all your colleagues understand what you're doing. Because sometimes it's, it's again like salespeople, they go and travel, they eat and whatever. Concierges, people have the feeling that they can go to restaurants, they can go to shows, whatever. Yes, sure, but it's part of your job, as you were saying. We really appreciate that you're doing that. Actually, it's really, it's entirely your responsibility to do that. And this is the value that you bring to the hotel. The best value we can, see is what our customers tell us, after their departure. So I really could encourage you to really get as many comments as possible from customers, because there's one person that we didn't talk about here. Robert mentioned it a bit because he has this issue on his hands every day, but it's the owners. We are in different business models now. We manage hotels. We are hotel management companies, but we don't own the hotels anymore. And we have people called the asset managers, and they are here to bang on our heads, and usually the director of finance head, for efficiency and profitability. So it's really up to you all to really make to really pinpoint the importance of your role in this hotel. And that will help the GM to say, look, I would never have so many great comments from customers if I didn't have a brilliant concierge team there.
Robert Watson, Virginia Cassell, and the area zone directors for all of their hard work and support and insistence on this project. They did an awful lot of work in pulling those numbers together. I want to thank the 2011 Congress Organizing Committee, all of the volunteers that helped on this, and more importantly, our families and our loved ones for their patience, understanding, and support over the last 2 years. All the delegates for your engagement, your involvement, your participation. I want to thank American Express for being patient with me and for being so supportive of my passion put forward towards this project. Tony, thanks. Tony, thank you.
Está roto, ya. Con lo este que ponía. Comentazo.